ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, chapter entitled Deliverance of the Jamala Arjuna Trees. Text number 30. Tvam ekaha sarvabhutanam dehashva atmendriyeshwaraha tvam eva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnur Avyay Ishvaraha Tvameka Sarva Bhutana Dehashvatmindriya Ishvaraha Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuravyeshwaraha Tvamekah sarvabhutanam Dehashvatmendriyeshwaraha Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuravyeshwaraha Tvamekah sarvabhutanam Dehashvatmendriyeshwaraha Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuravyaishwaraha. Bhagavan Vishnuravyaishwaraha Tvameka sarvabhutana Dehasvatmendriyeshwaraha Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuravyaishwaraha Tvameka sarvabhutana Dehasvatmendriyeshwaraha Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuraveshwara Tvameka Sarvabhutanam Dehasvatmendriyeshwara Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuraveshwara. Matajis. Tvameka Sarvabhutanam Dehasvatmendriyeshwara Tvameva Kalo Bhagavan Vishnuraveshwara. Tvam, your lordship. Ekaha, one. Sarvabhutanam, of all living entities. Deha, of the body. Asu, of the life force. Atma, of the soul. Indriya, of the senses. Ishvaraha, the super soul, the controller. Tvam, your lordship. Eva, indeed. Kalaha, the time factor. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishnuhu, all pervading. Avyayaha, imperishable. Ishvaraha, controller. There are two verses in conjunction, so I'll read the next one and then we'll read the translation. Tvam mahan prakriti sukshma rajah sattva tamomai Tvameva purushodhyakshaha sarvakshetra vikarvit. Translation. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of everything. The body, life, ego and senses of every living entity are your own self. You are the Supreme Person, Vishnu, the imperishable controller. You are the time factor, the immediate cause, and you are material nature, consisting of the three modes, passion, goodness and ignorance. You are the original cause of this material manifestation. You are the super soul, and therefore you know everything within the core of the heart of every living entity. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Shripad Madhvacharya has quoted from the Vamana Purana as follows. Rup yatva tu jagat rupam vishnu sakshat sukhatmakam nityapurnam samuddhishtam swarupam paramatmanaha. So we are going to read text 32 also. Griyamanestam agrahiye vikareih prakritayir gunaihi konviharhati vigyatum praksiddham gunasamvritaha. Translation. O Lord, you exist before the creation, therefore, who, trapped by a body of material qualities in this material world, can understand you? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As it is said, Atah Krishna Namadina Bhavit Grahyam Indriyai Sevan Mukhe Jivhadau Swayameva Sfurtyada. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.234. Krishna's name, attributes and form are absolute truth, existing before the creation. Therefore, how can those who are created, that is, those entrapped in bodies created of material elements, understand Krishna perfectly? That is not possible. But, Sevan Mukhehi Jivhadau Swayameva Spurtya Yadaha. Krishna reveals himself to those engaged in devotional service. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.15 by the Lord himself. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Maybe it's a different verse. Maybe it's a misprint here. It could be somewhere towards the end of 18th chapter. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. So this is a misprint most probably. It's not 18.15. Should be somewhere after 18.50 onwards. 55. 18.55. So this is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.55 by the Lord himself. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Even the descriptions of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam are sometimes misunderstood by less intelligent men with a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, the best course by which to know him is to engage oneself in pure devotional activities. The more one advances in devotional activities, the more one can understand him as he is. If from the material platform one could understand Krishna, then since Krishna is everything, Sarvam Khalvedam Brahma, one could understand Krishna by seeing anything within this material world. But that is not possible. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvasthita. Bhagavad Gita 9.4. Everything is resting on Krishna and everything is Krishna, but that is not to be realized by persons on the material platform. Om ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuran militam jena tasmai shri gurave namaha Shri Chaitanya manobhishtam sthapitam jena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivashadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So very wonderful prayers here by Nala Kuver and Manigriv today. In their most profound prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, they are bringing out many subtle points. Or we can say that Shukdev Goswami Maharaj, in his narration to King Parikshit, is enhancing the various, or bringing out the various mellows within the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam to the prayers of the sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvar and Manigriv. So today's verse, or today's verses, explain how Lord Krishna is basically the cause and the sustenance of everything. He is the maintainer of all that is. Thus, His Sarva Karana Karanam. Indirectly, Nalakuvar and Manigriv are actually expressing their gratefulness to Lord Hari. That, my dear Lord, it is only by your supreme mercy that we got cursed. Because you are the cause of everything. And even though we spend so many eons, so many years in the body of trees, by your mercy we got the fortune of seeing your wonderful childhood pastimes. And now by your mercy only we are able to offer praise unto you. Thus, the Acharyas point out, and Srila Prabhupada, when he is giving this verse from the Vamana Purana, as quoted by Sripad Madhvacharya, brings out the same point. Rupyatvat tu jagat rupam Vishnu sakshat sukhatmakam. Atmakam means just like. Sukha atmakam. Here sukha refers to transcendental bliss. Resembling transcendental bliss, or the very embodiment of transcendental bliss. Sakshat Vishnu. Vishnu is not bliss in the mode of goodness. Vishnu is not bliss in the mode of passion. Vishnu is not bliss in the mode of ignorance. Because there are various kinds of pleasures in the different modes. And according to the modes, one may understand those particular categories of bliss to be the greatest or transcendental. So, Vishnu Sakshat Sukhatmakam, the very embodiment or the very personification of transcendental bliss, transcendental form, is Jagat Rupam Rup. Anything in this verse, all that we perceive in this verse, in this world, Rupyatvat, any form, any species of life, or any matter for that matter, any aspect of matter, is actually Sukhatmakam. It is nothing but the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jagat Rupam. And therefore, any object in this material world can be an impetus, or it can serve as an inspiration to become Krishna conscious. That is knowledge, or that is perception. The idea that mercy simply transcends on its own without one actually being prepared for it or even having the proper receptacle, according to the Lord's desire, is incomplete. We are not saying that the idea is wrong. Mercy has to descend. But mercy has already descended in this world. Every object is nothing but an impetus to remember Krishna. That is the mood of the residents of Braj in the 10th canto. They see a tree, a tamala vriksha, and they remember Krishna. Srimati Radharani sees a bumblebee, she remembers Krishna. Whether it is in happiness or seemingly distressful situation, any object of this material world makes them remember Krishna. And we see how in this very pastime, an object of this material world, seemingly the rope that is binding Krishna, liberates Nala Kuvar and Manigriv. Hence, Srila Prabhupada is quoting this verse from Sripad Madhvacharya, that Krishna is actually the original or the remote cause of everything. There is an immediate cause for any action and there is a remote cause for any action. There is always these two causes for any action, an immediate and a remote cause. Like, if I take this garland, then the immediate cause of this garland could be, or let us say the immediate cause could be those who have strung together this garland. They've taken this flower and strung it together. But in one sense, the remote cause are the flowers themselves. If the flowers are not existing, what could the immediate cause do? What would the garland makers do? So, these flowers have as much credit for rendering service to Lord Hari, to Lord Gopinath, to Srimati Radharani, as much as the garland makers. As much as those who go and pick up. There are so many causes like that. Those who go and bring the flowers. So in this way, there is an entire chain. There is a parampara. There is always an entire group there is a yutha or a group of people. There's never, that is Kanishtha. Kanishtha means only I and Krishna. But there is an entire chain of very compassionate and well-intentioned souls that are responsible for, or that receive the credit for any service offered to Krishna, for any service that is rendered to Shri Radha Krishna. So, Nitya Purnam Samuddhishtam, okay, if this form is alright, Jagat Rupam Sakshat Sukhatmakam, Vishnu, the very embodiment of transcendental pleasure or bliss, is actually present in every aspect of this material world, but the material world becomes manifest and unmanifest. In that sense, it appears to be undergoing changes. So does this transcendental form or transcendental bliss also become manifest and unmanifest? Does Sakshat Vishnu also become manifest? No. Nitya Purnam. He is complete and eternally complete. The perception in this material world may be manifest, unmanifest to the eyes of those who perceive it, the conditioned souls. That will come in the next verse. But practically Vishnu is Nitya Purnam Samuddhishtam, and therefore it has been completely and perfectly been explained. Samuddhishtam. Uddhishtam means explained, clarified, completely. That this Supreme Lord is Nitya Purnam Swarupam Paramatmana, and that is the soul of all souls, the Paramatma, the greatest of all souls. And Swarupam Paramatmana. So that transcendental form of bliss, that Satchidananda Vigraha, is the form of the Paramatma. That is the form that is being seen by Nalakuvar and Manikriv. So although Nalakuvar and Manikriv are offering their praise and they are saying, you are the cause of material elements, you are the cause and effect, and you are this and you are that, you are the cause of the ego, all the elements, practically describing in very concise form the universal form of the Lord, they are actually describing the original Sarupa. They are indicating the original blissful form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Satchidananda Vigraha. Hence, this cannot be taken to be something below the rasa of the 10th canto. This cannot be ignored like that. Why are they mentioning this? Is the next verse brings up that point. Why do Nalakuvar and Manigriv mention this point? Is the next verse. Anyways, in the previous verse that was wonderfully elaborated on by Radha Vallabh Prabhu yesterday, beautiful class, really so very sweet and philosophically erudite, yesterday's class. The prayers started yesterday and they'll continue on for a few more days, maybe 3 or 4 more days. Nalakuvar and Manigriv are offering their prayers. Their prayers begin with the supplication of hands. You know, they have just come out of the twin Arjuna trees. And they see Krishna and they start offering prayers. Meanwhile, Krishna is in the transcendental abode of Gokul. He has just been tied by the ropes used by Ma Jashoda to a mortar, a grinding mortar, Aukhala. Shukdev Maharaj, the previous Acharya like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, even Srila Prabhupada, even Kavi Karnapur, all of them make the point that after Ma Yashoda had left Krishna alone, now why did she leave Krishna alone? Maybe Krishna needed privacy. Because she had some work to do. That wasn't as yet finished. She still had to attend to that milk. And in the entire episode, she had turned down that milk. She came running. She saw Krishna. She tied him up. Now she had to go back to her milk and make something for Krishna. Not that because she became angry with Krishna, she did not say, today I will not make anything for you. Now, sometimes that happens. Parents become angry with children and they say, serves you right. Today you will not make, we are going to make such nice preparation for you. We are going to give you a nice gift because you did well in school, but now you've been naughty. We are not going to give you that. Serves you right. So Ma Yashoda's passion of anger is not material passion. And what is the proof? She goes back. So Krishna is alone. Alone in the sense, Kavi Karanapur describes she leaves him with his friends. And she gives each one of them, in days of the past we used to have pagers. In 1996, the first marathon under the guidance of Sanat Kumar Prabhu and other leaders of a temple, we did this intense marathon in Mumbai. The congregation members, they had sacrificed a couple of days, standing in these factories practically from dawn to dusk, in fact even till midnight. Somehow we are trying to make arrangements to get prasadam. For the first time we are organizing on a massive scale. So everyone was given pagers. 1996, pagers were more, they were considered to be advanced. We receive message, okay, here you need prasad, here you need books, so send. So Ma Yashoda in one sense gave such pagers to, she did not want Krishna to suffer the adverse effect of mobile radiations. In case something happens to Krishna, page me. And in other words, you be around and see that Krishna does not get into trouble. My Gopal does not get into trouble. Then she goes. Well, so the boys, children, you tell them one thing, immediately, it is their nature, childish nature, they immediately land up playing. They engage in playful activities. So the children started playing. Although they were around Krishna, they started playing. Suddenly they saw Krishna crawling away, so they thought, oh, where is he going? Then they saw that he was crawling towards these huge trees. It has such an expanse of branches and leaves. They said, Krishna, he must be feeling the heat of the sun in the courtyard, must be going to take some shade under the trees. So they said, let him go. We'll play here. We are playing nice, we are playing nice kabaddi or catching each other or something like that. Let Krishna go and take, anyways he's tired, poor fellow, what can he do? Let him go and take rest under the trees. Suddenly they find the trees crashing down. A few of them are observing Krishna going, and they're children. They did not call out, hey, Krishna, be careful, Krishna, you'll get caught up there. No, they're just observing it. And then there's this crash. And then they find these two people coming out. So all the acharyas point out that at that point of time, Krishna looked at the trees and felt, my devotee Narada has sent these two personalities here. So I have some obligation towards Narada Muni. I must liberate them from their tree life. So Krishna liberated them. Now they have seen Krishna's pastimes. They have seen it from the view of the Brajavasis, because they have stayed in the land of Braj for so much time. They were practically domiciles of Braj in that sense. They have seen it from the viewpoint of being entrenched, being caught, being bound by the body of trees. They have also seen it through the eyes of so many years of repentance and penance. They have also seen it through the eyes of, they have also seen it with the eyes of opportunity. Now we can do something with our lives. So they started offering prayers to Krishna. When they started offering prayers to Krishna, Krishna said, hey, why are you offering me prayers? I mean, you should offer prayers to someone who's elderly, someone who's senior, someone who's the object of respect. I am simply a cowherd boy and just look at me. I have been tied by a mother to an ukhal because I am a culprit. Why are you offering me prayers? So then they say, no. Krishna Krishna Maham Yogim Stvam Purusham Adyam. Adyam Purusham Para. Now because you are Purusha, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, really? I'm just a young boy, a young child. Do I look as like the Supreme Person? Look, I'm crawling, I'm not even standing like, okay, I'm giving you blessings. No. You may be a child, but you are Adya. And now, the Acharyas, Adya means the original. So the original Purusha, the original person. So Krishna says, okay. Now what can I do? Now you have said that, so I have to accept it. If I refute that, then later on the people in Kali Yuga say, see, Krishna is refuting, so how can you say? So Krishna has to accept. He says, yes, I am Adya Purusha. But I am bound. See, I am bound. What use is being the original Purusha who is bound? Para. You are transcendental. You are bound, but you liberated us, so you are transcendental. So you are beyond Prakriti. So in this way, they offer prayers. But then they mention something very interesting. They call him Mahayogims. They call him, oh master of all mysticism. So where is the mystical... there are histories of Roman gods, there are histories of great kings, there are histories of... Like King Bharata as a young child. He was playing with tigers. Practically, wrestling with them. So here is a young child who approached to maybe great Arjuna trees. All right. So is that the mystical potency that is being referred to here? Something interesting is being explained. Chapter 8 describes Krishna showing the universal form to Ma Yashoda in his mouth. He shows the entire universe with Ma Yashoda looking into Krishna's mouth within his mouth. He shows that. So he shows the material creation as well as the Bhauma Vrindavan also, which is alakshya actually, which is not visible generally, perceivable. He shows all of that within his own mouth. Now the next chapter describes, so now when Yashoda sees that, she suddenly realizes that who am I? Am I really the wife of Nanda Baba? And actually, am I really Krishna's mother? Actually, I am simply a servant. I am simply meant to serve. I am dependent. And Krishna says, whoa, no. So he waves his Yoga Maya potency. It's very interesting. He waves his Yoga Maya potency at that point of time. Chakravarti Thakur Pad explains, Krishna's energy of Aishwarya Yoga, the one that shows all mysticism, shows his opulences, was thinking for a long time in Braj, I have not done anything. The demons did come, but Krishna, that was just Vasudeva Krishna. I practically did not do anything. Now I have got an opportunity. Why? Because the Madhurya potency is helpless in this case. Ma Yashoda is telling Krishna to open the mouth, and seemingly the Acharyas accept that maybe Krishna has eaten dirt. Maybe it is there in his mouth. So Ma Yashoda, Aishwarya Yoga, she is thinking that what if there is dirt in Krishna's mouth? What if he's eaten? And if Ma Yashoda sees dirt, she's going to become so anxious. Krishna is going to, Ma Yashoda is going to start thinking that Krishna is a liar. Not very good. Let me do some service to Krishna. So Aishwarya, she shows the Aishwarya there. So Madhurya seemingly is helpless because Madhurya does not understand what to do now. Ma Yashoda is very powerful here. So for that, all the other Shaktis, simply they stay as they are. Aishwarya simply says, hello, here I am. So all the opulence is there. Krishna says, hey, Aishwarya, go. So Krishna sends Aishwarya away. Now if he sends Aishwarya away, there cannot be vacuum there. So he has to bring Madhurya out. So that is the Yogamaya potency. The Yogamaya comes and covers Ma Yashoda again. And Ma Yashoda immediately, her breast fills up with milk and she feels, oh, Krishna must be hungry, like that. Now it is this special Yogamaya potency which has been revealed in the previous chapter that makes Ma Yashoda want to bind up Krishna in the next chapter. Now Krishna has used, especially invoked the Yogamaya potency, come, and puts it on Ma Yashoda. So in the next moment, the next chapter reveals that how Krishna is in the lap and Ma Yashoda then puts him down, he breaks the pot, feeding the monkeys. Ma Yashoda runs after Krishna to tie him up and ties him up. So how does she tie him up? The Yogamaya potency. So here is Krishna, who has the entire universe within the mouth, who becomes tied up by the love of Ma Yashoda. How does he become tied up? With a rope. Now what is the rope? A creation of Krishna. Where was the creation of Krishna? Within him. How did the rope come out and tie him up? Now that is the inconceivable nature of... We may speak, oh yes, yes. Because Krishna, the love of Ma Yashoda. But where is the love and Yashoda, everything is inside. Now that comes outside and ties Krishna up. That makes Krishna achintya. That makes him inconceivable. How Krishna does it, that is unfathomable. That Krishna does it, that we fathom. We fathom Krishna doing it. But how he does it, that is unfathomable. That is Krishna's achintya shakti. That makes him para purusha. And now, Krishna, Kavi Karnapur says, he is always free, but he becomes tied up by Ma Yashoda's ropes. Krishna is always pure, but he is tainted by his pastimes of stealing. Krishna has been tied up by Ma Yashoda's ropes, he is bound, but he is liberating those who have been cursed, who are bound by the curse of Narad Muni. Ma Yashoda is simply a cowherd lady. When there is some problem, she calls the Brahmanas, please chant mantras for Krishna. Narad Muni is a Brahmarshi, he is a Devarshi. His curse is a Brahmana's curse. Ma Yashoda calls in Brahmanas to chant mantras to protect Krishna. Narad Muni has chanted a verse to curse, a mantra to curse the sons of Kuvera. Now Ma Yashoda has tied up and made Krishna bound. So he is bound by the rope of Ma Yashoda, who is simply a cowherd woman, but he liberates the two sons of Kuvera, who are bound by the curse of a Brahmana and a Rishi of Narad Muni. Now that makes him Mahayogin. That is why he is called as Mahayogin here. In today's verse, so as soon as Krishna says that and they give the answer, no, but you are the supreme person who can liberate everyone. Then the next verse they say, that my dear Lord, what is your nature? We are thinking that we have been bound up by Narad Muni's curse. Devotees who are going to read the pastime are going to think that Krishna has been bound up by Ma Yashoda's ropes. But actually you are the original cause of everything. You are the remote cause of everything. It is by your own desire that all of this is happening. And therefore, you are the controller. Tvam eka sarva bhutanam dehashva. And therefore you are the controller of the mind, the ego, the deha, and all of these things they are mentioning. Therefore you are the only Bhagavan. Now, after saying this, they are feeling a little bit like, sometimes Srila Prabhupada would translate Hindi proverbs into literal English. So I am going to do the same thing. So they were feeling like small mouth, big words. Choti muh badi baat. Small mouth, big words. What did you do? And therefore then verse number 32 is that you exist before the creation, therefore how can we who started existing after the creation describe you who exist before? You know, it's like the shoe that is made by the shoemaker, which is there in the shop, and he says, "Suno sunata hu ek kahani is shoemaker ki tumko zubani." And I'm going to explain to you the life of the shoemaker before I was created. How is it possible? How can the son or the daughter describe what was the life of the parents before their birth? Oh, they may have heard something, they may repeat it. But how can they say that this is what we have seen and observed? So therefore they are saying, how can we even describe you who are existing before creation? So in other words, Nalakuvar and Manigri was saying, my dear Lord, we are bound, you are bound, but before the creation you are free. You are always free. And therefore, now we always had the hope that you will free us. It's not very, something mystical that you have freed us. However, the only way we can, there's no recourse to life than understanding your mercy, this mercy, and understanding how you function. And the only way we can understand how you function is simply by your mercy. Srila Prabhupada says, but Sevan Mukhe Jiva those, Krishna reveals himself to those engaged in devotional service. These same sentiments are also expressed in a couple of verses by Queen Kunti in the first canto, 8th chapter. Krishna has just protected Uttara's womb, Parikshit Maharaj within. Draupadi, Uttara, she wasn't really aware what was happening, but Queen Kunti and the Pandavas, they observed this happening. Now what had happened was, Ashwatthama was being chased, so he released a Brahmastra to somehow or the other deter Arjuna. Arjuna counteracted that with another Brahmastra and retracted both. Then Ashwatthama, he sent another Astra, Brahmastra. Arjuna couldn't counteract it. Why was that? Chakravartipad explains, because the Pandavas saw that Astra, Brahmastra had been, it had this enchantment, that it was 5 Brahmastras coming for the 5 Pandavas. Because the Brahmastra, it had been imbued with the mantra, destroy the Pandavas. In fact, it had been imbued with the mantra, destroy the Kuru lineage. There should be no one remaining to carry on the Kuru lineage. So there were 5 astras coming. So Arjuna did not have sufficient time to counteract with 5 of his own astras. So Krishna protected the Pandavas from the 5 Brahmastras. This Queen Kunti observed that he protected them by his own potency. Personally, he protected the Pandavas externally from the 5 Brahmastras. And because they had Brahmastra, that single Brahmastra also had been imbued with the potency of destroying the Pandavas, there was one more Pandava remaining. The 5 Pandavas are external, but there was one internally in the womb of Uttara. And that too Krishna protected. As the Paramatma, the Acharya explained, as the Paramatma, it was easy for him to descend in the womb. So he did that. But Krishna was not satisfied with that. He personally entered along with his Sudarshan Chakra. And this was observed by Kunti. And therefore Kunti saw him outside and inside too. She saw Krishna personally within and without. And that completely bewildered her. What was her bewilderment? Krishna is my nephew, but he is so powerful. Is he really my nephew? So this all emotions of respect started surging within her heart. And therefore she also folded her hands and started offering prayers to Krishna. Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakriti Param. So she started offering Namaste. Please accept my humble obeisance to Krishna. Krishna, Bua Ma. Oh, my aunt, what are you doing? I am your nephew. Why are you offering respects unto me? Kunti says, you are not nephew. Purusham. You are Purusha. You are the personality of Godhead. You are Purusha. Krishna said, yes, I am Purusha. Is there any doubt about it? I am male. I am Purusha. Obviously I am Purusha. There is no doubt about it. No, Adyam. You are not just a Purusha. You are the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as they use the word here, Adyam. Both the places Chakravarti Pat Thakur explains that Adyam Purusham means you are not just the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are Swayam Bhagavan with the 64 qualities. You are the son of Nanda Maharaj. You are Swayam Bhagavan here. So Adyam Purusham. Krishna says, aha, come on, aunt. Little bit I did here and there, I protected here, I showed some power there. But in this world, there are many Purushas like that. By the way, when you say Adya, that is also not wrong. Because actually, the body is temporary. All the bodies are going to be destroyed. They come and they go. But the soul is eternal. And therefore, the soul is Adi. Yes, I am soul, you are soul. Therefore, I agree. But why are you offering me obeisances? Why are you offering me respect? Then he says, no, you are Adya Purusha. He says, oh, Swargaloka, Indra, Chandra, they are also, oh sorry. He says, no, you are Ishvara, she says. He says, controller? Chandraloka, Chandradev there. In the night he controls everything. Indraloka, he is the king of all the three planetary systems. Maharaj Ugrasen, he is the king of the Yadus. They are all controllers. I am just one of the Yadu prince. So I may be Ishwar. She says, you are not an Ishwara within this material world. Prakriteh para. You are an Ishwara that is beyond this material world. You are a transcendental Ishwara. Yes. So Krishna says, oh, so you mean I am absolute truth? Acha. Now what absolute truth I am? I am the absolute truth that is within the heart of everyone. Alaksham sarva bhutanam. My dear Lord, even the yogis who do meditation for millions of years, practicing the eightfold mystic yoga process, and the jnanis who use their intelligence, they can realize the Paramatma. And all of these are material facilities. I've just said you're Prakriti Para, you're beyond the material modes. How can you be the Paramatma? You're not the Paramatma, you're Alaksham. Alaksham Prakriti Param Antar Bahir Avasthita. Krishna says, Acha Acha. So therefore I am the absolute truth that is all pervading, that is existing everywhere. I just saw you. You protected the Pandavas there, standing there. You protected Parikshit within the womb. You are present here. How can you be all pervading energy? The Brahman. You are not the Brahman. You are Swayam Bhagavan. And after mentioning this, immediately she mentions the verse, Maya Javanika Channam Agya Dhokshajam Avyam Alakshase Moodhadrisha. She says, I am simply, you are not perceivable by those who are foolish. You are beyond the sensual perception. So what Kunti Maharani, after saying all this, that you are, as soon as she says, I saw you outside, I saw you inside, suddenly she becomes so confused. Krishna, you are outside, you are inside, are you actually all pervading? And therefore in that confusion she says, how can I understand you? It's not possible. Maya Javanika. Covered by the curtain of Maya, I cannot understand you. I cannot understand you because you are covered by the curtain of Maya. Krishna says, Acha, so now you are saying that I am covered by Maya? The curtain is covering me? Achannam. And Kunti Maharani says, how is that possible, my dear Lord? How is that possible? Can the sun ever be covered by the clouds? It is not possible. You appear to be covered because my vision is covered by that curtain of Maya. That is why you appear to be covered by that curtain. You are always adhokshajam. You are beyond sensual knowledge. My eyes can only perceive what the senses show me. Therefore, this is akshajam gyan. Knowledge arising from the senses. Aksha, snakes, it is said they see with their sense of touch, although they have eyes, their tongue. So they are aksha. Aksha generally does not just mean eyes. It means that which sees, that which senses. So adhokshaja means that which is understood through the senses. Or akshaja means. So adhokshaja means that which is under someone's control. All the knowledge perceived by the senses under him. He is beyond that. So you are adhokshaja. My knowledge is akshaja. Akshaja gyan. Therefore, I am not able to contact you. Therefore, I am despicable. I am lowly. I am fallen. I am useless. So, when she is mentioning this verse, Kunti Maharani immediately is feeling how insignificant she is. And hence she says, Alakshase. How can I even understand you? You may say you're my nephew. How can I understand you? Because, my dear Lord, but although I am not able to understand you, and there is a relationship between me and you, although I am not able to contact you because of my limitation, doesn't mean that you are tainted by that, doesn't mean that you are affected by that, and therefore you are irreproachable. Otherwise people will say, if Kunti cannot understand Krishna because Krishna did so many activities, he was here, he was there, he did good, he did not do something that is so good which confused Kunti. So what about Krishna himself? Hence she is saying, you're avyay, you're inexhaustible and irreproachable. Here Prabhupada translates it as irreproachable. You are not contaminated. Although I cannot contact you, that is nothing to do with you. People cannot connect my limitations and superimpose it on you. Avyay. So after she says this, Krishna says, my dear auntie, right now you called me Adya Purusha Prakrite Parah, and now you are saying Mudhadrisha, you are foolish. How is that possible? And therefore Kunti Maharani says, Alakshase Mudhadrisha Nato Natyadharo Yatha. She says, although people may see someone dancing, an actor performing an act, they actually do not see the actor. And this is explained, just like once someone went to England, a politician from the rural parts of India was invited to England for some Magsaysay award, something he did there. So they said, all right, let us show you the soccer match, football match, football. What is football? He doesn't know football. He's from the rural parts. So he goes to watch a football match. He says, people running here and there and a ball being hit. After the match, they asked him, how do you like the match? He said, what? 22 grown-up men running after one ball. Why don't you give them each one ball? They can run after their own balls. So Nato Natya Dhara Yatha, when I was young, the program that was the worst to be watched was anything to do with, how do they call it? Arts. Natya Sangeet and things like that, Kathakali, Bharatnatyam. As soon as you start, we'll start making fun of it. Rag, anyone would sing long, like that. And you'd say, kya bore kar raha hai? Then one got introduced to Krishna consciousness, senses became a little purified, you started appreciating finer things. And now we understand, oh, such a nice dance, Odissi dance, Kathakali dance. What do we understand? Do we know the art of dancing? I don't know. I don't know what shastra the dancer is following. I don't know what mudra she is using to enact what. Something, strikes here and I think, nice. Kya dance tha, wah. Kya gaya. I mean, such rag, such melody. Now, our Anant Nitaya Prabhu went for such a long time to study there. He brings out some cassette and we, start. And others say, what nice raga you're singing. What do I understand of raga? I know no sur, no tal, nothing. I don't know lay. But it sounds nice because the senses have become a little purified. So although hearing, I don't know what the singer is singing. Although watching the dance, I don't know what the actor is dancing. So it is not just that I don't know the actor personally by his name and what his profession is. Actually do not even know what the performance is. And therefore, when Krishna is enacting his pastimes, we do not actually understand what his performance is. We may understand to some extent. क्या मधुर लीला है ना, अरे यहाँ पर भगवान ने मट्टी खाई, ब्रह्मांड लीला. Here the Lord he ate mud. Sometimes tears may also flow. Fine senses, definitely those emotions are there. If we think that we are no longer Mudha Drisha, then there could be a problem. Why? Because Nato Natya Dharayatha. It is not only for, the Natya is not only for the conditioned souls here, but the Natya is also for us. And therefore the next verse Kunti Maharani says, Tatha Paramhangsana Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti-yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyema Histriya. How can I understand that? Which is the object of the principles. Which principles? Not the sadhana principles. Here the vidhan is not the sadhana principles. The principles is the raga principles of the Paramahansana. How can I begin to understand those principles? The object, that which is the object of the raga principles of the Paramahansas. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is bringing out a point that is Kunti Maharani actually saying, is she expressing a doubt that, my dear Lord, can even the Amalatmanam, can even the Paramahansas, those who are completely purified, pure souls, free from all contamination, who are hearing with attraction your pastimes, even those Paramahansas who are hearing with attraction your pastimes, but do not understand the truth of your pastimes, actually relish the intricacies of your pastimes. I'll repeat this again. Here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Prabhupada is bringing out the point that can the Paramahansas, such purified souls who are attracted by your wonderful pastimes, the hearing of your wonderful pastimes, but do not understand the truth of your pastimes, actually understand and relish the intricacies of your pastimes. So, and therefore 1973, when Prabhupada was giving a lecture on the one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam in London, 21st July, he was explaining one word, Kalatra. Deha Patta Kalatradishu. He was quoting that and he said, Kalatra. Kalatra means that which expands. He says Stri. And he mentions the verse 3 because here, Pashyema Katham Histriya. How can a woman like me understand you? So here, the literal translation is women or a woman. But Stri has various levels of understandings in Sanskrit grammar, according to Sanskrit Nirukti dictionary. And Prabhupada gives that one under. He says, Stri means that which expands. I am a man. I desire to have children. How can I have children? So I need a woman. So then she expands things for me. There's children, there is house, because now there has to be a house, there has to be job, there has to be clothes. Expansion. So Stri is that which expands, or energy, because energy creates, energy expands. So anything that expands creates manifold objects is Stri. So here Stri, and therefore Vishwanath Chakravarti's that comment means those who do not understand the truth of your pastimes, then what do they understand? If there is no Krishna, there is Maya. So therefore, there has to be an expansion, there has to be Stri. Yes? Let me give you a small example. Prasad, Krishna Prasad. Ata Shri Krishna Namadina Bhavet quoted, Jivhadav. But prasad also has taste, prasad has texture, prasad has other attributes. So when we have prasad, the aspect of Krishna's mercy is there, the aspect of Stri is also there. What is the aspect of Stri? When we consume prasad, we are not honoring. When we consume prasad, we are thinking, when will the server come again to give me this? We are thinking, oh, can I have more of this? We are thinking, tomorrow will I have this? So here the concept of Stri comes. Therefore, although we are hearing or we are tasting the attractive nature of Krishna as prasad, do we actually understand the truth of prasad? If not, then where is the relishment and the understanding of the intricacies of prasad? Bead bag has beads or beads itself. We are chanting, oh, this is rough. That person has bigger beads. Next time I go to Vrindavan, I'll get that. Right? Oh, my beads, they look dirty now. Maybe later on after I finish chanting, I should wash it. All this is chanting. So there is the aspect of Krishna's holy names, the taste is there, but there is the aspect of Stri also, or expansion. So pashyema katham. How can one who has such a vision understand that which is the object of the Amalatmana? How can we understand that? And then, therefore, Srila Prabhupada quotes the verse, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Very beautiful verse. Because how does this verse come about? What is the relation here? Just before this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has quoted the verse, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. And therefore, Vishnu Chakravarti says, a very, very intrinsic concept is being introduced in this verse. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yas chasmi tattvataha. This bhakti after Gyan, mad bhaktim labhate param. One who is in the pursuit of Gyan but knows that there is a need of devotional service to achieve perfection, now introduces or has included devotional service, but Gyan has gone into the background and devotional service has come to the foreground. That bhaktya gives rise to Gyan. Tattvataha abhijanati, janati, again Gyan. So bhakti gives rise to Gyan. Very interesting concept which Chakravarti Thakur says. Bhakti gives rise to Gyan. And that is the Gyan that allows one to enter Krishna. That is the Gyan that attracts even the Atma Ramaha. What is that Gyan? The attractive qualities of Krishna. Sa uttham bhuta guno hari. That is the transcendental knowledge. That is Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. So only by bhakti, only by devotional service is that Vidya or that transcendental knowledge achieved. Now Chakravarti Path says, what is that achieved by? Can it be achieved by the Gyanis? Chakravarti Path says, no. When Krishna is using the word here, tad anantaram vishate, he says, he is including various types of Gyanis here. And the three categories, and the fourth one he says are the very fortunate one, who somehow by the trick of faith get the association of sober and dedicated devotees. They attain the kingdom of Godhead. The others either attain, as Krishna says, klesha, or they attain just liberation from misery, or they attain sayujya. So this Gyan, bhakti can give rise to these categories of Gyan, he says. And hence, if we are not careful, then the first category of Gyan is that is not bhakti, because they do not include bhakti there. That is klesha. But just simply liberation or mukti being the goal, or sayujya, or service, transcendental service. That is the phala of this bhakti that has been mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam 18.55. So, how does that arise? He says, Krishna gives it. And that is Krishna's mercy that they are praying for in verse 32. Krishna's inconceivable mercy. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, foolish people don't understand this. What is Krishna's inconceivable mercy? And he quotes the Narayan, Adhyatma and Shruti Shastras and says, the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead is although always unmanifest, by His inconceivable mercy, He becomes visible through His energy. If it were not for His energy, how would we ever see the beautiful Supreme Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure? And he quotes another Shruti mantra where he says, which translates as, the Supreme Absolute Truth displays His Satchid Ananda Vigraha, and this is Krishna's inconceivable mercy. He displays His Satchid Ananda Vigraha, which is displaying here to Nalakuvar and Manikriv, which rests at the base of a desire tree in Braj and Vrindavan. This is Shruti mantra. He says, this Satchid Ananda Vigraha, inconceivable mercy, this Gyan, this Vidyavadhu is only received by fortunate souls. This is Krishna's mercy. How does Krishna's mercy come about? By some trick of faith. And Chakravarti Pad gives 2 examples. Krishna thought personally, the 4 Kumaras have come to my doorstep. Let me give them my mercy. And he showed them his transcendental he bestowed his transcendental Satchidananda form. And they became so attracted to that. Vyasadeva thought, let me give my son Shukadev the transcendental mercy of Krishna. And he revealed Krishna through the Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus, by the trick of fate, if one receives the association of sober and dedicated devotees, then one can attain the wonderful inconceivable mercy of the Rupa, the Guna and the Leela. The form, the qualities and the pastimes. And that is the real crux. That is the essence. Here, Nalakuvar and Manigrave are going to offer their prayers and they go back. There's another pastime where Krishna comes, kills the crocodile becomes a Gandharva and goes back, and the elephant gets a transcendental form, Sarupya form, and goes to the spiritual world. The Gandharva goes to Gandharva Loka. What is the difference? The Kuvera Putras here, the Yakshas here, or the Yaksha Putras here, they did not get Sarupya Mukti. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaj, touched by the conch, Kripaya Kapole Balam, touched by the conch, offered prayers. But then Lord said, no, first you rule for 36,000 years. Then the plane came for him and took him back to Godhead. What is it? Indradumna Maharaj in the form of an elephant was offering prayers in the mood of pure, unalloyed devotional service. Somehow or the other, Indradumna Maharaj's feet in that mood was connected to the crocodile, and the chakra cut the crocodile. So the paraphernalia of the Lord and the devotee's touch was there. So liberated from the crocodile species, becomes a Gandharva, offers prayers. Prayers are, let me always remember you, so on and so forth. Here also, it is the Ukhala that actually touches the trees. Gets liberated. They offer prayers. Please let us always remember you, let us always see your devotees, let us always hear your pastimes, this and that and that. Now, if they continue on doing that, then like Maharaj Indradumna, they may offer prayers when it is required and go back home, back to Godhead. Simply the vision of the Lord is not important. That is why before this and in this Leela, those two, what do we do with that? So service is very important. Devotional service is very important. That is what Dhruva did. He did service. It was the Lord's desire to do that. As soon as Ajamil got the opportunity, he did devotional service. Both of them got the benediction. So please, the conclusion is that the goal is not to see Krishna. The goal is to serve the Satchidananda form of Krishna, who is surrounded by his devotees. And therefore, just like when Lord Chaitanya was dancing, first circle, Nityanand Prabhu and the others, second circle, Kashishwar and the others, third circle, Srivas Pandit and the others. Then there was Maharaj Pratap Rudra. He is not able to see. Harichandra, his secretary. Srivas Thakur, please move. Srivas, please move. Srivas doesn't pay attention. Really jolts him. Srivas looks and slaps him like that. Maharaj Pratap, at least you are touched by someone in the outer circle. So Krishna in his Satchidananda form is surrounded by so many circles. Hence, service unto the Satchidananda form of Krishna begins from the outer circle. It begins right there. And that is what, so many times Radhanath Swami Maharaj also says, serving the community of devotees. Serving the community. Because we don't know who is what. If we find out that some devotee, we have not really served them, and actually, the moment of passing away, and Vaikuntha Viman comes and they go, Arey, chance miss kar diya. Like Prabhupada would say, okay, Krishna is not there, all right, but the process is so nice. But what if Krishna is there, and we don't do the process? So, okay, we do not know who the devotee is, but what if this is a devotee who is going back home, back to God in this lifetime? Hence, vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyoch patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So, the sons of Kuvera are being liberated here. Chakravarti Pad explains how bhakti is of paramount importance. Bhakti is that which gives rise to real gyan. Real gyan means understanding Krishna's beautiful form, and real understanding of that. How is that achieved? By the quirk of fate, or by the mercy of the devotees. Somehow we associate with those who are connection with Krishna, who have that energy flowing through. When that happens, then we can offer prayers to Krishna, because Krishna is revealed. And now what do? Srila Prabhupada in the Bhaktyamama Bhajanati verse, the last paragraph, he says, devotional service continues even after liberation, even after going back into the spiritual world, service continues. So what do? We continue service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanand.